Welcome to all. In this video, we will see the concepts of managing Linux files and folders. So, irrespective of the operating systems, whatever it may be the operating systems, whenever we talk about electronic gadgets or devices, files are very vital. Each and every system will be containing the files. It may be for the system data or for the user data. Okay, so moving further, I just wanted to give one simple example. Even though it is a smartphone, I completely believe that almost everyone will be having this smartphones, and you can go to file manager and you can check in your phone itself. You will be having n number of files, isn't it? It may be image file, audio file, video file, or any docs file, txt file, or log files, or system files, any system files or database files. Even see, you can go to WhatsApp folder and you can see the media inside the media folder. You will be having media files, and inside the database or storage folder you will be having database files. So each and every system will be having its own files, and system will be having its own folders as well. Okay, so instead of saying that files are important, I can say that files are the building blocks of any systems. Okay, because based on those files or the contents or information which is stored in that files, from there we can understand that what kind of system you are running or what kind of usage you have done, based on by seeing the log files or any system files which you are storing, isn't it? So let me give one simple example again. So if I get your smartphone, by looking at your file manager and by looking at your files which is stored in your system, in your smartphone, I can directly say that what kind of person you are, what you like more. Just by going to album also I can check it. If you are a nature lover, definitely you will be having so many pictures of nature. If you are a family lover, definitely you will be having so many pictures of your family instead of going for some other thing, isn't it? Or anything is good. Okay, so by looking at the files or the content of the files or data or information which is stored in the files, I can say that what kind of person you are. Why? Because of data. Again, I am saying this example because, see, when you are talking about operating system, when you are talking about Linux, it will be having its own files and its own folders and its own file system. Okay, managing that file system and managing the files, managing the folders are very important. If you are going or if you are hiring, or if you are getting hired as a system administrator, or managing some systems, or even though in your labs, if I don't know how many of you have seen a Linux operating system in the lab, but if you have already seen, then you would have you would have seen some folders, some files, and you would be knowing how to manage those files, how to create, how to delete, or how to edit, or how to update, how to send, how to manipulate the contents, or how to view the the information which is stored. So many things you can do, so many operations you can do on files and folders as well. You can rename it if you wish, isn't it? So I am saying all this because even Linux support that, even Linux operating system will be having its own files, and these are the important things which you have to understand. Okay, now let us go with the slides. So as an introduction part, so in Linux most of the operations are performed on files, and to handle these files, Linux has directories also known as folders, which are maintained in tree like structure. Though these directories are also type of files themselves. Linux has 3 types of files. Okay, so even they are saying the same thing. So in Linux architecture or directory structure, it will be in a tree like one. So there will be some root node and there will be some leaves node and all. Okay, in mathematics also you would have seen some tree concepts. Okay, I will show you in the next upcoming slides, so you will get the better idea. But as of now, just for the theoretical concept, they say that the Linux has a directories and folders, and all these files and folders are maintained like a tree structure. Okay, there are mainly 3 types of files we have. One is a regular file, then directories, and special files. Okay, in regular files, you will be having, it is a common file type of Linux. It includes like text files, files, it may be image files, video files, audio files, binary files, etc. So any type of files you can take, all those files will be regular files. Okay. Now being a second year students, you would be knowing how to create the file, and what type of the extension you can give. So if you are running some C programming, definitely file name .c, so you have created one file. If you are running some C++ programs, then definitely file name .cpp, you would have saved such files. And you can go for some Java now you are not studying, but if you are going for some JavaScript also, you will be having .js. For HTML files, you will be having .html. For cascading style sheet, it is it is like a building block for web development also. So that file name .css, cascading css. So you know how to create the file, and you know how to put the content to that particular file. Okay, so that is a general topic. So those kind of files are called regular files. But when it comes for directories, Windows call these directories as folders. So that is a concept of Windows. So whatever the directories you will be having, it is called folders. Say for example, inside the C drive, so inside the D drive, you will be having some folder named family. Inside the family folder, you will be having your own parents folder, or your uncle's folder, or your any relatives folder. Inside the parents folder, you will be having so many pictures of your parents, and your home pictures, or local pictures. But when it comes for relatives, definitely they are not staying with you, they are from some other part of city. Then definitely you will be maintaining separate data for them. So ultimately, why you are going for separate folders? Because just to categorize, or just to identify what kind of files and where you are storing, isn't it? In same fashion, but when it comes for Linux, we will say directories. Okay, these are the files that store a list of file names and related informations. So here the topmost directory or topmost folder is root. Okay, root is written as a // okay. Is the base of the system. Okay, they say root directory is the base of the system. So from root you can access rest of the files and folders. Okay, now /home/ is the default location for users home directory. So here home directory means in Linux, in Windows, you will be having some base directories, isn't it? Something like C. It is a drive. I'm not saying it is a directory, but C is a drive. So like that. So you would have seen in Windows, you will be having default picture folder, you will be having default document folder, you will be having some default music folder in the left hand side, in the left hand corner, isn't it? So those folders are by default, it is a home folders. So some content will be given by the Windows itself. In the same fashion, even Linux will be having the same concept, but here /home/ is the default home directory. Now /bin is essential for user binaries. So when you go for some installations, when you go for some system related informations or binary files, if there any, it will be stored in /bin. Okay, so then /boot, it is a static boot file. So for booting up the system, for all the booting informations will be stored in /boot directory. So it is booting is nothing but opening up your operating system. Okay, we say dual booting, we say multiple booting, isn't it? What is that? Dual booting means, so along with the Windows, if you are putting Linux operating system, then it is dual booting. So you will be having some options. Based on your options, you can get into the required operating system. It may be for Windows or for Linux. So that is booting. Okay, now some static booting boot files will be available in /boot directory. So we could create a new directories with the mkdir command. So I will deal with the commands in the later slides, but I already said in Linux, if you know commands, you can work on that Linux very easily, because and in the faster manner also, because with some commands you can perform so many things. Instead of going to cursor, if you are instead of going for something like files and drop down menu, you will get then new, then create some text document. Instead of doing all those circuits, directly using having some commands, you can create the or perform the required task in the easiest manner. Okay, now then the next thing is special files. Represents a real physical device such as printer, which is IO operations. Next, device or special files are used for device input output or IO on the Unix and Linux systems. You can see them in a file system like a ordinary directory or files. So I already said, as Linux is open source, each and everything is a file. It may be hardware acceleration or any kind of content. So it will give the idea, or it is a beauty of Linux, which will give the access to each and every user, so that they can build their own part of code, or they can work on the operating system, and they can manipulate if they really wish. Okay, so that is the reason why each and everything will be having its own file. So in this case of special files, if you are having some IO files, input output files, that also will be available in the system itself inside the root directory. So if you want to manipulate something, like say in some hacking movies you would have seen, so whenever some person plugs his USB drive into the system, so this operating system will automatically copy all the files, and it will keep that files in some safest place, which will not be known to that particular user also. It's a kind of stealing, information stealing. So without giving the permission, without opening the USB, just by inserting the USB, if you are able to access all the files and you can keep the files in separate directory, means it is because of the access which is given to the user, so that they can update the code and they can use the code for the input output devices. So that is a one part of story. Okay, I'm saying why I'm saying, because that is also possible. If you are very interested, if you are well versed with the coding concept, and if you are having your own algorithm, you can write and you can manipulate and you can make use of those kind of style of coding to these already available files or special files which is residing in the operating system folders or directories. I should not be using folders, directories. So folders, that keyword is mainly used for Windows platform. When it comes for Linux, it is nothing but directories. Okay, now see, this is some of the screenshots I just try to pull out. So these are the folders examples, and in the right hand side you will be having some concepts of different kind of folders. So binary folders, and Firefox, Linux, ISO, and so many folders. In the below images, it is a Ubuntu operating system. It will be having, say, bin folder, boot folder, CD-ROM, next device folder, etc folder, home, opt, mint media, and all those folders. There are so n number of folders can be possible when it comes for operating system. So this is just example I just wanted to show you now. And one more thing, say in the below image you can see at the top you have one slash. So that means you are in a root folder, root directory. Okay, you will be having root directory. You are in root directory. That is the meaning. Can you see that slash in the below image, that Ubuntu folder, Ubuntu image? So you are having that slash. That means you are in a root directory. Okay, now there are some commands which you have to understand, which you have to remember also. So for creating a files, you have one command called touch, touch, or comma gedit space filenames dot extension. So that means gedit is an editor. Actually it is not creating the file. Gedit will open an editor using which you can go for controllers, and you can save the content, and you can create one file. That is the thing. You are not actually, touch will directly create the file. It will create an empty file directly. But gedit it is an editor, and it will open one editing concept, and then you can dump the data, and you can save it with some extension, and you can store it. That is, ultimately you are creating one file, isn't it? So that is the thing. And VI also, it is an editor, and the same case, you can dump the data, you can put the data, and you can save it, and you can create a file. Vim also one of the command which will be used for the editing purpose, and you can put the data and you can save it with some extensions, and you can create the file. But here touch is the only command which will directly create the file. Rest of the commands are it may be gedit or vi or vim. These commands are for editing the file, or editor. It is an editor. It can create an empty file. It can create the data file with the data also. Fine. So now for deleting the files, you have command called rm. Okay, rm means remove. Okay, rm command, small letter rm. So space file name, whatever the file name you want to delete, whatever the file you want to delete, that file has to be given as an parameter to that particular command. Okay, now listing the files. So ls or ls comma ls space, there is one space. Okay, in the ppt that space is missing, so it is ls space minus l. Okay, so it is minus l. All the contents are in a small letter, in a lowercase letters. So ls means listing the files. Okay, now why you need listing the file? So as I said, when you are dealing with the commands in the terminal, you will not be knowing what kind of files are there in that directory or in that path. So if you want to find that files which are present in directory, you have to go for ls command. Now, say for example, the best example is, if you are very familiar with the Windows operating system, after clicking computer icon in the home screen, you will be taken to all the drives which are available in your system. That isn't it? It may be C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, all those things. But if you want to find the folders which are present inside the D drive, what you have to do? You have to double click on D drive and you have to get inside the drive. Then only you will be able to see the folders which are available inside the D drive. But when you are dealing with the commands, or when you are dealing with the terminal, so there is no concept of double clicking, there is no concept of cursor. You have to go for commands and you have to see what kind of folders or files available inside a particular directory. To do that, you need ls command. Okay, now making the directory, so you can go for mkdir. Mkdir means make directory. Okay, now mkdir is one command followed by the file name, folder name. So any folder name if you want to give, you can go for mkdir space that folder name. It will create one folder in the particular path or particular directory. Okay, now deleting the directory, again it is rmdir. For just removing the files, you can go for rm space file name, but when you want to delete the directory, it is like rmdir space folder name. Whatever the folder you want to delete, you can go for rmdir. Now changing the directory. So see, for changing the directory, you have the command called cd. cd means change directory. Now you will ask, what is the meaning of changing directory? Say for example, you are inside, say I'm just giving the example of Windows itself. I don't know how many, as I haven't seen anyone, so I don't know how many of you used Linux operating system. So by default, I consider that each and everyone knows the concept of Windows 7 or Windows 10. Okay, now with respect to that Windows 7 or Windows 10, if you have D drive in your system, what you do, you go for double clicking it, you will get into the folder. Say for example, inside the drive, you will be having the folder like a BCA. Inside the BCA folder, you have one folder called study material. Inside the study material, you will be having so many PDFs. Just imagine like that. Now you are in that folder. Now if you want to come back, what you have to do? You will be having one icon. Again, you can go for backspace in the keyboard, or else you can take the cursor and you can come back by clicking that arrow mark. Isn't it? In the left top corner, you will be having arrow mark. So by clicking that arrow mark, you will be outside that particular folder. So now you will be able to see the BCA folder. If you again click, you will come out and you will directly come to the D drive, and all the folders will be listed. So it is with respect to cursor and mouse. But when you are in terminal, when you have command, if you want to change the directory using cd command, you can do it. That is the thing. Fine. So it is not just cd. You will be having so many parameters which you can pass. It is a vast story. I will just stick to the syllabus. If you want to learn more, you can contact me personally. Okay, so I can teach you everything, but because each and every commands you are learning, it has got so many parameters. Using these commands you can go for so many work. Okay, it will be having wide range of applications, but we will stick to the some of the application and some of the usage. That's it. Fine. So these are the some of major commands which you have to understand for this particular explanation, and you will be having so many commands later in the later chapters you may see, but as of now you just have to remember these commands. Okay, now this is what I just wanted to say. It, in the first slide I explained like trees, style, tree like structure. So this is it. Okay, now first one is a root. Root is nothing but a slash. Okay, inside the root you will be having some folders. Inside the folders you may have some subfolders. Ultimately you will be in a tree style, like, isn't it? It is a tree like structure. So inside the root you have bin for directory, device directory, etc directory, user directory, home directory, library directory, sbin directory, temporary directory, variable directory, or var directory. Inside where you have log files or log directory, temp directory. Next you have inside the user directory, usr directory, you have a bin directory, man directory, lib directory, local directory, share directory. So inside the man you may have some other subdirectories, or inside the local you may be having some directories. So overall this is the Linux file system. Okay, so this is in tree structure. Okay, hierarchy, it's a kind of hierarchy, isn't it? So step by step. So this is the general idea of entire Linux file system. So root is the base for all the file systems. Remember this, it is a root is a base. From root only you will be coming inside some directories. You have to remember like this. Fine. So this is the thing. Now see, this is the example. I just have taken this from my system, so I just executed some commands. So you can see this is a terminal. So using terminal, how I accessed, how I created the file, and how I created the folder, you can see here. So in the first line I have just gone for ls. Okay, now ls means listing the files. So now where I am actually, I am by default I will be in my home folder, isn't it? In the home folder I will be there. So Drona is my system name, so it is like Drona at Drona gateway series. So the Drona is my username, for my system Drona is the username. Now Drona gateway series is nothing but my system, the name given to my system. So by default you will be having this much, and after that dollar symbol you have to pass the command ls. I just typed, so I got all the files and folders which is under my home directory. Why it is under home directory? Because in the first slide explanation I already said, by default your terminal will be in the home directory itself. Okay, now there are some other command also to check where actually we are residing. We can see it in the later chapters, but now you just concentrate on ls command. So ls command will list all the files and folders which are under my home folder. So it is dataf.py, one Python file I have, and desktop, that is one directory, documents directory, downloads one directory, examples.desktop one file, music is a directory. Next pictures one directory, public, snap, and templates, videos, all those are directories. Now in the third line what I have done, I have tried to create one file. Using what? Using touch command. So touch shri.txt. I have given my file name as shri.txt. Now touch will create one file, isn't it? Where it will create? In the same path, that home followed by my username is Drona. So /home/Drona/. So it is the present working directory. I will be in that particular directory by default. Okay, now after creating I have to check, isn't it? When you go for touch space shri.txt and if you hit enter, you won't get any output. It won't show you any output, because by default you have already created shri.txt file. Now to check it, what you have to do, again you have to type ls command. So ls command will list all the files and folders available in that directory. Now you can see, you can see shri.txt is in a green color. That is nothing but I have created one empty file. I am not giving any data. It is just one empty text doc file. It's just a document file, text document file, which is empty. So the size of shri.txt is 0 byte. I did not add or I did not insert any data to that particular file. So touch will never create, put any data. It will just create one file. If you pass some parameter, that is separate part of story, but touch will only create the file. Okay, now shri.txt is, you can see in the fifth line, or third, fourth, fifth, yeah, fifth line. Now in the sixth line, what I am doing, I am going for rm space shri.txt. Why rm command is used? Rm command is used to remove the file which is available in that directory. Now rm space shri.txt, if you hit enter, it won't show any output. It will go to next line. But to check whether the shri.txt is successfully deleted or not, you have to go for ls command. Ls command will list all the files and folders available in that directory. Now in that line, shri.txt is not visible. That means successfully you have removed the file. Now in the next line, what you are going to do, you are trying to create one folder called bca. mkdir is the command. Mkdir command will create the folder. Now again, it won't give any, it is an empty folder. You are not dumping any data. It is just an empty folder, an empty directory. Again, you are going for ls command. So now in the first position, in the blue color, you can see bca, isn't it? So that means successfully you have created one folder. Now if you want to access, you can directly go to home folder using your cursor. You will see bca folder. You can double click and you can see it will be empty. But this is using commands and terminal. Okay, now after that, what you are going to do, you are going for rmdir. Why rmdir? Rmdir will remove the directory. You want to remove bca directory. That is the reason why you have given bca. Rmdir space bca. Now after that, you want to check whether I have successfully deleted or not. That is the reason why I have gone for ls command. Now ls command will list all the files and folders. Now in that line, bca folder is not visible. That means successfully you have deleted directory, bca directory. Okay, now next thing is, again I am going to create one directory called svs. I will go for ls. Ls will list out svs folder. You can see last but one, no, after snap folder, you can see svs folder. Inside to go inside the svs folder, what you have to do, you have to use cd command. Change the directory command, isn't it? Cd command. Now what you have gone for, you have gone for cd space svs. Cd space svs, what it will do, it will get you into the svs directory. That is the reason why you see after Drona at Drona gateway series colon, you will be seeing slash svs. That means you have already came inside the svs folder. Fine. Inside the svs folder, what I am going to do, I am going to create one file called touch space shri.txt. Again, I have already deleted that time, but now again I am creating. Now I am going for ls command. So now inside svs you have ls. You have gone for ls. So inside svs folder you have shri.txt file. Okay, so this is my habit. Instead of using directory, I'm saying folder, but it is the exact way is to say directory. Just for you not to confuse you, I'm using the word folder. Okay, now inside the svs folder you can see shri.txt. Why it is showing? Because I have just now created using touch command. I have created shri.txt file. Whether it has size, no, it is a 0 byte because you did not dump any data inside shri.txt. Now next you can see a new command called pwd. What is pwd? Pwd stands for present working directory. That means if you want to check where exactly you are working, you can go for pwd command. Pwd command will list out present working directory, where exactly right now you are present, where exactly you are creating or manipulating the data. It will show you. Now you can see it is in my system, it is /home /drona /svs. That means inside the by default folders home, inside the home folder you have one folder called drona. Inside the drona folder you have just arrived to svs folder. Ultimately all these are directory. It is a home directory. Inside the home directory you have drona directory. Inside the drona directory you are in svs directory. Okay, now if you again go for ls, it will list the file. It is string.txt. Now what you are going to do, inside the svs directory you are going to create one more directory with the name bca. How to create one more directory? Again, it is mkdir, make directory. Okay, mkdir space bca. Now what are the contents available inside the svs directory? Previously it was just string.txt. now you have one more directory called bca, or you have one more folder called bca. Now you can go for cdbca. So right now you are in /home/drona/svs. Again you are going for cdbca. That means inside the svs folder, inside the svs directory you have bca directory. Now you are going inside the bca directory. That is the reason why in the command you can see it is /svs/bca. Now you go for ls command. Ls command will list out nothing. Why? Because inside the bca command, in the bca directory you have nothing. You did not create any file using touch. Now what you are going to do, you are going for pwd command to see what is the present working directory, or what is the actual path. Now what is the path? It is /home/drona/svs/bca. So right now you are in bca directory. Okay, now you can see the cursor will be in a bca directory. Here if you wish to work, you can work here. If you want to create some file, you can create. If you want to delete some file, you can delete also. So these are the some of the example I just wanted to list out. So this is my terminal, so I have given some example to you. So this is how the commands will work without touching your mouse, without touching your touchpad, without using the cursor. Just by using keyboard and commands you can perform almost all the tasks easily in Linux. Mainly in Linux it is possible to work everything using commands and terminal. Okay, so this is the beauty of Linux. Fine. Okay, for this video this is enough. I just want to wind up here, and rest of the concepts I will put in the next video. So I am remembering, I just wanted to finish one more thing. Round robin algorithm is remaining. I will make as soon as possible I will make one video and I will upload it. No need to worry. So it is also one of the important concept you have to learn, but as of now I just started with Linux concept, so I will try to finish this concepts with by giving so many examples, because you have n number of examples for a Linux platform. Okay, so I just want to wind up now. Okay, thanks for watching. Yeah, if you have any doubt you can contact me. Okay, thanks for watching. Yeah.